Welcome back to Breakout. Tonight we're going to be automating quite a few things. We're going to be getting on pretty quickly now. We're getting into Ender IO, and that means, first of all, automating Grains of Infinity, or at least semi-automating them to get started with. So one of the first things we're going to need, if we're going to do this, is a dispenser. And for that we're going to need a bow and arrow, which you're going to need some sticks and string and other bits and pieces. So well, going to get a few string, not just one. There we go, just a few pieces of string. Let's get some sticks from over here. And, before I go back upstairs, one thing I did notice with these coal generators is they will take buckets of lava. And buckets of lava have a burn time. If we go over here and head upstairs, 2 buckets of lava. You can see this one has 20,000 ticks of burn, of burn time. Okay, by comparison to 1,600 ticks for charcoal. So if you put them in coal generators, they will quite happily, and if we just take this tiny coal out again, quite happily take those, and you can see it actually consumes, well, generates power. You can, however, put them in the Stirling Generator. I tried, it would not take these buckets of lava, even though it has a burn time. Not sure if that's a specific exception, but I think to counter that, I want to see if the normal Stirling Generator takes them as well, just in case it's something limited to simple Stirling Generators. So to get those, we're going to worry about that a little bit later. To get started, we're going to start with a dispenser, as I said. So we should have everything we need. We need a bow, and that should be easy. Yep, 1 bow. And a dispenser. Yep. And that just needs some cobble and some redstone. Oops, do I have any redstone? Yes, I do. Plenty. Well, at least plenty for this stage of the game. 1 dispenser. Okay, that's the first step of what we need to do. And why won't you go back in? Oh, there's just a few left over. Okay, so a dispenser will basically let you use flint and steel. Now, flint and steel is something you're going to use to basically, I'm going to actually create a new one. I'm not sure if I've got one already, but is it just iron and steel in this mod pack, or is it actually going to be flint and actual steel, which would be unusual, but it certainly happens in expert mod packs. Nope, just iron, that's fine. So 1 flint and steel, 1 dispenser, and that's fine. We also need a vacuum chest. Now remember that our sieve doesn't need that anymore because our sieve is happily working away with an auto sieve rather than anything else. So we have this spare vacuum hopper we got from the quests, and we can reuse that. The last thing we need is the tricky part. It's a block detector or a redstone clock of some kind, a configurable timer. Let's just see if there's a timer. We do have a redstone timer filter, but that's not exactly what I want. How about a clock of some kind? No. Okay, how about a let's see what redstone options there are. Those are all, well, repeater, comparator. We could do something with vanilla stuff, but no, let's see what it takes to do this the other way. So we need a block detector. We need some way of triggering the dispenser, basically. So if you don't have anything to do with redstone to be, you know, done on like, say, every 20 ticks, you need another way of doing this. Not a block dispenser, a block detector, please. So a block detector, on the other hand, needs a few bits and pieces we don't have. Dark steel, which is with our alloy smelter, pulverized coal, obsidian, and iron ingots. And we know we have at least some of those things. And we can make a pressure plate. We also need some machine parts. And they, unfortunately, aside from the iron ingots, need these industrial machine chassis. Now, that's one of the next quests that we have to do anyway. So it's a good thing regardless. We need simple machine chassis. They're fairly straightforward. Need some iron alloy ingots. And they're actually quite nice because you can combine iron. Let's just take 2 iron, let's say. Let's just take copper and let's say tin. I think those will do. In fact, let's just not take copper. Let's take aluminium, okay? Something like that. And if we put those together in an alloy smelter, let's take out the steel I already put in there. Iron, tin, aluminium. They will combine together and they will basically produce 3 ingots of the iron alloy kind. That means I can multiply my iron by using up other types of metals. As long as I avoid alloys or particular alloy recipes, I can generate 3 times the amount just by using other ingots. And it's iron that I use more than anything else. So that is a good thing as far as that's concerned. However, the rest of it is a little bit, well, yeah, that's easy enough. It's this industrial dye blend that's actually a little bit trickier. We need nether quartz dust. We need crushed lapis. we can put that in a sag mill, I would imagine. Some organic black dye, so that's from Ender.io, and that is just pulverized charcoal or coal and some slime balls. We can make that. The nether quartz dust, on the other hand, how are we getting nether quartz dust in this pack? Sag mill, yes, but we don't really have nether quartz. Or can we sift this from anyone? It looks like we can. If we sift soul sand, of course. And yes. Although we do get a chance, quite a high chance. So we're going to need to automate that witch water downstairs a little bit more than we do right now. That's okay. We also get some gas tiers occasionally too. So that's fine. We need to go downstairs and automate that. So you'll see I have this here. And if we just grab some sand, whoops, not this vacuum hopper, the sand, put this in, and you'll see we get soul sand out. And then I have a large repository of 20 buckets in here. So I basically have 20 soul sand ready to go if I just pipe it into another barrel, basically. So let's just get another barrel sorted. Do I have some stone around anywhere? I don't think we can unstone brick stone. Let's just get some cobblestone cooked up. We can put it in the powered furnace. There we go. And get some more iron back. That should start cooking up into regular stone. And the stone barrel also needs some some stone slabs. We've already got some of those, so that should do fine. I'm just using these stone barrels because they're just more useful than anything else. And I just need a few more pieces of stone. So while that's going, let's go and place down the rest of these things. We need, yeah, to put some stuff in here. You'll see I've got some nice growing cactus, and it doesn't like going next to walls. So you just have to fit things wherever you can. And we've got some grass growing over here. This is probably going to be turned into crops area or something like that, just around this central area. And this central area is the one I'm really interested in. So what I really want to have is back here, I'm going to have the block detector. So here is where we're going to have the dispenser. That's probably the wrong kind of block to use for this. Do I have any? Let me just get some. Oh, in fact, hang on. No, I just need to get a few pieces of cobblestone. Yeah. And then I just want this. There we go. And then I want to face the dispenser pointing down. Okay. Now this, if I put in a flint and steel and trigger this somehow, can I just put a lever together? If I put a lever on you and click, yep, this causes a fire. Fire won't spread, it's not next to anything. But of course, it is basically going to potentially create a grade of infinity, which is good. It's exactly what we want. And if we then put in a vacuum hopper right here, for instance, and then I'm not sure about the wisdom of this storage crate, so I'm going to put it there so that it may not produce this. There we go, grain of infinity. So if we just turn this sideways, say output that way, it's going to output grains of infinity into this block, which is kind of nice. And then we can just decide to just, I don't know, maybe keep the floor like this so that we don't have too many problems. So this, whenever I want a grain of infinity, all I really need to do is flip a lever. And we don't really want to do that because it's manual. We need to do something automatic. That's what we need the block detector for. We're going to trigger it automatically, hopefully. And for that, we need a few bits and pieces. So is that stone ready? Yes, we've got plenty of stone. And now we can get a stone barrel. Yeah, one of those. And then we've got some item duct. We've got some fluid duct as well, because a few of these things are going to be needed. Hardened will do for now. And let's see where we're going to put this. So we could, I think what I am going to do, yeah, I am going to just replace this with a barrel to get, and then I'll just basically get started with it. So let me just, I don't want to break it. I don't want to actually use my, just in case this causes, I don't think it'll actually cause a problem with the portable tanks, but instead of breaking it, I want to use my crescent hammer. Where's my crescent hammer? There it is. Okay. Okay, let's just grab you. All right, and then we'll just put this other stone barrel back here. There we go. Okay, that's going to fill with water. Well, witch water, I should say. And then, I can't get any further up here. Temporarily, I'm just going to have my portable tank probably there, and then we can dump straight out into it just by pressing the, hitting this. There we go. So that should output into there. So if I just grab some sand now, will it actually just go in? It will. And I can just use up all this spare witch water that we have. You'll see it's dropping really quickly. There it is. That's empty now. Good. Get rid of you. And that's ready to go. So this just needs automating a little bit further. And we want to basically put sand into it. So we want some kind of container. Another one of those crates will do fine. And we want to put sand in there. We want to put just some item duct. Going between there, and here, and then, I don't know, maybe another container beneath. We actually can just put a chest in there. I've got a few spare. I'm not going to make any more of those crates just yet, at least not for this purpose. So that can go in there. And then this will only remove solid blocks because it's item duct, which is good. And we just need a hardened servo. Well, any kind of servo really will do the job. And that's going to be set up. We just need another servo for that side. And then everything should start working. So one servo, just going to need some little bits of iron. I've got some iron in my inventory, so let's just make one of those up. Nugget, servo. There we go. Let's just make all 4. I'm going to be using them regardless. At least until I get to the Ender IO conduits. There it goes. So it should try and put that sand in there. I'm not sure what's going to happen if that's not witch water, but this should only be extracting witch water, so it should never be a problem. And that's fine. There we go. We got soul sand. And soul sand we can sieve to get the nether quartz to start making the rest. So we want to just temporarily replace this gravel with soul sand. And the gravel can go back into whatever container I've got for it. Yep. And this thing needs to be turned back on again. So let's just grab you. And it's okay because now I have lava power underneath there. So it should be providing, yep, more than enough power to actually get this thing to provide gravel to get this thing to basically use it up again. And you'll see we're starting to get nether quartz. Good. That's going to get us towards the next step that we need. And to make the rest of it, you're going to need this industrial dye blend. That requires a few bits and pieces, as we've already seen. Crushed nether quartz, organic black dye, which is just some basically pulverized charcoal and stuff. In that case, I'm just using slime balls. And then organic black's fine. Organic green is slightly more complicated. We're going to just go for slime balls, cactus green, and pulverized coal of some kind. So if we put all 3 of those in, that should start making the green stuff. We've already got the black stuff and made that ahead of time, and in here we should have the nether quartz and crushed lapis, so we should have everything we need. Let's get that going, and let's tell this to make some industrial dye blend, please. Yep, 6, and we should have enough for another batch, actually, if that goes in there. Yep, industrial dye blend, another 6. So combining that with our simple machine chassis in one of these. I think it's one of each. 1, 2. Yep, there it goes. It should make the industrial machine chassis here, and it should get us 3 double layer capacitors, which is really handy. Some redstone alloy grinding balls. They're just basically things you add into your sag mill, and they basically give you different bonuses. So yeah, better secondary drops like which is with platinum, and increase energy efficiency. I assume redstone is going to be energy efficiency. I think dark steel was additional secondaries maybe as well. Can never remember. Anyway, that's fine. So we're ready to get that. Are you done? You are. So we should get the quest, detect, and claim. Give me the quest. Come on. I've got the block. Oh, is there a second page? Oh, there is a second page. That's annoying. Okay, I do actually need to upgrade the machines. That's fine. The sag mill and the alloy smelter, you can use the previous tier to create the next tier up, which is handy. So the sag mill, there is a recipe on its own, but if you use the previous tier and the initial machine chassis, you can basically create the next tier up. You do, however, need a couple of things. Some dark steel and dark bimetal gears, which is more dark steel and infinity bimetal gears. And we've seen how to create these before. So I'm going to skip forwards and remember dark steel is just pulverized coal, obsidian, and iron. So I'm going to make those, and I'll do that off camera just to save a little bit of time. And here goes with upgrading the sag mill. There's nothing in it yet. That can get demolished. I did go with the simpler recipe for alloy smelter, which just used 2 furnaces. So I still do have a spare simple alloy smelter, Won't need to do that for the sag mill though, because the sag mill, either way around, it just uses some bits and pieces. So I will make a sag mill this way. And I do need one more thing, however, for this. There we go, upgrading my machines. That's the quest. We get some AA capacitors with it, which is what I'm going to use. So you do need capacitors for these machines. In this case, however, I already put the one we got from the quest, the basic one, in the alloy smelter. So I'm going to put one of the AA ones in the sag mill. This is going to start hoovering up power like crazy. So yeah, our coal generators, this is going to be starved over here. Right now, the shortage I have is not as much iron as coal, because we're going to get tiny coal out of this thing. Yeah, it can be a little bit annoying to get the coal. Is there any better sieving recipe directly for coal? Does not look like it. No, does not look like it at all. We can't really go for world gen. Crusher, block drops, some coal ore. Unless there's any way of getting coal ore. Nope, that's just world gen. Nope, that's fine then, I guess. So I guess we'll just have to add more. I think we'll just have to add more of these autosieves and setups later. Anyway, to get started now, we just need to upgrade a couple more things. One is we need another one of the things for the block detectors. So let's just go back to what the next quest is. Endgame. It is. I told you it was a short pack. We get an impossible level pick of choice if we go for this, which means we get to actually go through one of the other doors. So that's very handy. In particular, thermal foundation. It's actually additions. That's thermal foundation. So in particular that direction, because there's a bunch of things like sand generators and cobble generators and these extruders and all kinds of other bits and pieces like that. Baton not so much. Actual additions and thermal expansion are both cool, so having both of those through this is going to be good. Okay, top tier alloys require huge power investment, let you upgrade all your systems, as well as being on the other another level on the way to escape. So let's just check what energetic alloy it actually needs in this pack. Is it going to be a regular recipe of gold and something else? Yeah, 50,000, but that's not too bad. So glowstone, redstone, and gold. Well, that is fine, because I do have a little bit of gold. Let's just put that U in there. I've not upgraded the furnace yet, but pretty much the alloy smelter takes its place. So yeah, I mean, they just cook up 3 at a time, so that's quite simple. But I do already have some of each of those things, so I can put one of each of you: gold, redstone, glowstone, and that will make the energetic. And the energetic with an alloy, with an ender pearl usually, can get us, where are you? Oh yeah, with an ender pearl. An ender pearl needs ender dust in this pack, which is sieving crushed endstone. Now, if you remember, we got the ability to get crushed endstone. There's endstone, but we get a crushed version. Did I actually harvest any of the crushed version? Maybe not. Let's go and take a look if it's easily accessible. It's behind some obsidian, if I remember rightly. So if you pop down here and go down, you'll find in here, there's some crushed endstone right there. So if we just get rid of this endstone for a second, crushed endstone is basically like very much like a sand recipe, so you can just harvest it with anything, including a shovel, which I just put it back in the chests when I actually probably needed it. Anyway, let's get some of this. And we only need a few of these, hopefully. Okay, let's see if those very, very few crushed endstone in a diamond sieve. And I've put up the manual version again, just upstairs, just so that we can process this. Over here, will you get some ender dust? Nope. There's one. We only need 4. I think I've got 1 already, so that makes 2, pretty much. 3, 4. Okay, give me a 4th. Come on. 1 more. There we go. That should be enough. I have a 4th somewhere else. Are you in there? Yeah, 4 ender dust. So let's take you, get ender pearl, take this, and put you both back in. And that should make our endgame. Oh, hang on, I did have that in my inventory. I'll have to make another one of those. That's fine. That's the cheaper one. I just don't want to have to redo the other one. That's fine. And let's just put one of each of you in there and a gold. And that will process once this is actually done. 6%, that's going to take a while. Okay, and then the rest, I will just get more coal, and then we'll upgrade the Stirling Generator downstairs. Hopefully that will then take lava buckets. If it doesn't, then we won't use it, but that's fine. And then the block detector in here, and I'll be able to set that up. Again, right now, I'm not using enough of these things that I need a huge amount of automation, but it might be nice to just have that generating it by itself. And there is a silent version of it as well. You just add a block of wool. So let's cut forward until I've got a few more resources. And here we are, 2 things in the quests. Up here, there's Automation Kit 8. It has a few things that we've already just crafted. It has a vacuum chest, which is kind of handy. That much is probably worth taking the quest anyway. It's just a checkbox task, so you get it for free. The dispenser we've already crafted, and then flint and steel. It does give you an observer and a repeater, and I don't quite like these. The observer, by comparison to the block detector, if you have a look in here, the observer, I've just put some redstone here so you can see exactly what happens. If I turn the fire on, whoops, turn the fire on, you'll see that not much really happens. If I put the fire out, watch what happens. Not much, really. So the observer is not really all that handy. You know, if you could trigger it on things like blocks dropping, but I don't really want that to happen. So we're definitely going to go for that block detector and see whether that's actually improved behavior. I think it is, from memory. It's been a while. So I can just put this away for now. But that's not the only thing I was going to talk about. That is one sort of shortcut for some of the materials. The other thing was this quest. So I should have down here this endgame quest for this quarter. There we go. Both complete. And we get a new pick of choice. Okay, so now we get to choose which next direction to go in. So we're going to go into thermal expansion. Straight through here. There we go. And there goes that. And we get another spawn chamber. And we can turn these levers on. Whatever. Whoop. Ooh. Ooh. That didn't work on the other one. Black concrete. Harvestable skystone. Skystone is needed for AE2. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We want skystone. I hope this stays open. I don't want to go in there just in case it actually shuts on me. But, yeah. Okay. What happens if I... Yeah, that does actually modify that. So maybe... Well, I haven't modified the other direction, have I? Oh, I have got some blocks with me, I hope. Well, we're using furnaces. Let's put a furnace down. That's how we get in and out of here. So yeah, it appears to be... It's based on 2 of those. So it's almost beneficial to make sure you open 2 next to each other so you can get into the corner and get to the skystone. So that's kind of handy. I wonder if there's going to be a skystone chest in here like in normal AE2. Oh no, there's some bedrock already. That's a shame. What is the mechanism in here? There's got to be some kind of mechanism in here. It's probably a bit dark, actually. In fact, someone did actually say we want the graphics up a little bit. Graphics, I want the brightness to be bright, not moody. Okay, hopefully that's better for you guys. Sorry I forgot to do that already. It just, it escapes me sometimes that YouTube can make things a little bit darker than it really should be. And that's enough mining, I think. So, yeah. We have lots of skystone. I'll excavate the rest of that off camera. And now I just need to get some more of the sort of, what are they called? Some more of these industrial machine chassis because we're going to upgrade the final 2 bits and pieces, which means I need that block detector. Okay, so let's give final assembly a go. We need block detector, so we need these machine parts, which needs basically some iron alloy ingots and another industrial chassis. We've got the parts, so we've got the block detector, and let's go and put that down. Let's see if this actually works. Much nicer with the lighting. Yeah. So let's put that down there, and I want to put some redstone on top. Yeah. Okay. And is that pointing in a different direction now? Well, let's give this a go and see if it actually starts. So, yeah, that's there. And are you going to actually detect when you're down? That's not... Whoops. Actually, I don't want that like that necessarily. I want this facing sort of towards me. Yeah, maybe that was wrong on the observer as well. Just a second. Grab that back. Where's my... Oh, has it gone in here? It has gone in here. Let's grab that and some of the cobblestone. Let's put it this way instead. Is that going to work that way? I think it will. Yeah, let's just see. Where's my redstone? Yes. So anytime it doesn't detect something in front of it, it emits a redstone signal like that, and it keeps the fire lit. So I no longer need this lever, and everything else should be automated there. So I can just knock that through. I did excavate all of that in there. It is pretty much just two. Let's go through here, try not to get hit by anything. It is about 2.5 stacks of skystone and not much else. The piston and redstone conduits are in here. By all means, remove those, and then that will be nice and basically spacious. So if you want to have more storage space, you can. In here, we have pretty much got everything that I need. Yeah, that's another spawn chamber. We don't really need that at the moment, but that might come in useful in the future. And that leads me on to probably either go into the Stirling Generator or maybe, just maybe, the other thing in here. There is the Combustion Generator, which is for the quest. So maybe we should go for that instead. So the Combustion Generator, Gen, is going to be pretty much the same stuff. It needs a fluid tank, it needs electrical steel. Electrical steel we haven't made in this pack before, but it is fairly normal. It just needs silicon, and I don't have any silicon, but it's just smelted nether quartz. So we do have a little bit of that spare somewhere. Did I have some in my inventory? I thought I did. Nether quartz. Search for that. There it is. Okay, and we just smelt that up. Yep, and that should make into silicon just fine, so we can get some electrical steel. So I'll just go make a combustion generator, and we'll see if that's any better at absorbing lava buckets. Okay, I made the combustion generator. That is more used for fluids with the vat and other stuff like that. So if you're not familiar with the vat, you basically make different liquids and you can combine them in the vat. As it happens, the fuel side and you have some coolant side, and this will actually generate some stuff. I don't have that yet, so I'm just going to take that back up, and we're just going to replace that with a regular Stirling Generator. If I can just go and make one. So Stirling Generator, that is the upgraded version of the simple Stirling Generator. Let's give this a go and see if you will actually take my lava buckets. If you don't, then we'll just shift over to using coal generators for now. Let's just put a double layer capacitor in you. Grab this one, and you will take lava buckets. That's good, because I'm going to put the octadic capacitor in here, and the efficiency is much higher. See, it's generating 120, well, whatever the equivalent of our per tick is there, but it is quite fast at using this. You see, it's 20 seconds, and it's producing huge amounts of power, but not for very long. So what we're going to be doing is probably, at least get started, we can just grab that and put this down here. I don't think I'm not sure if we can feed this in directly, you know. I don't think that will actually work, but I'm all in favor of trying it. I doubt that will actually work. Let's give it a go. So we want fluid duct and a servo. Servo's there. Fluid duct. Yep, hardened. When you're dealing with lava, you definitely want hardened, just in case. Yeah, you're not going to accept anything without me configuring the I/O. So let's say you are a pull side. Yeah, that doesn't like it at all. Why don't we just move this right next to it? Let's see if that's the case. Move you and pop you down. No. Okay, that's expected. That's absolutely fine. So we do need to just slightly automate this a little bit more. In order to do that, I moved the lava strip downstairs. I put this cobblestone generator there, and you'll see it's happily serving out cobble to each of our crucibles. And the back, we have the same setup as before, hardened fluid duct. Over here, I've got a fluid tank, and this has a push-pull, I think, or push-pull availability in here. So if I just change this side to be push and pull, what it should do is pull in the full buckets and push back out the empty ones. Or the similar thing can actually happen here, if I remember rightly. You may be able to configure this side as well to be push-pull. Yeah, so, well, let's see how this actually works with them both set. So I'm just going to change this to empty. Off it goes. And you can see this is already taken in a lava bucket. and it's actually refilled it. So it must have gone, it's basically used it, refilled it, and put it back in. So once that goes empty, it should push this back out, and that will happen in 15 seconds or so. So we can just leave my mouse there while I talk. Should be automatically refilled and then go back up again. So let's just leave that alone. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and off it goes. And there it goes. It gets refilled. This thing is going to produce a lot of power, and it's got an octadic capacitor in, so that's pretty much the highest upgrade this thing can actually do. And just to complete that, and just to get everything running, we don't need to do anything more than just pipe the fluid duct this way into here. And this should keep it full. Whether this will be able to keep up with the rate that this is using is something else entirely. So what I'm just going to do is break you, and I'll put you on there. So if it can't fill that, it's going to keep this full. I can always grab this as a source of lava if I ever need any. So that's kind of handy. And that also means upstairs can now be cleared up with some changes, but not very many. I'll just get rid of this lava. Don't want to just waste it. So let's put it down in here with the rest of that. And that's all nice and clean up here now. So we're upgraded to the second tier of Ender IO, and we have got better generators, more power, and more automation going. We've got infinity grains going. There we go. Now, from that, what we can also do is upgrade these in terms of speed. Right now, they're producing as fast as they can go because that generator downstairs, that Stirling one, is really quite good once we give it enough power. So all of these are perfectly fine and able to generate enough resources. However, this thing can actually go faster than this. If you put food into it, sounds strange, but it has a speed boost of 5.5. So it immediately goes really quite fast. So I guess you could produce food and just have something right-clicking or trying to right-click it onto there if you wanted to. There are other things though as well. For example, if you have any Enchanted Books. Do I have any around? I thought I had some. Did I not? You do get Enchanted Books from the sort of fishing system down here. Yeah, you see, you've got Sieve Efficiency. So if I just grab that Sieve Efficiency and pop this up here, you should be able to, I think, into one of these. I thought you could actually use this on it. Maybe I'm mistaken. Unless it's that side, but that shouldn't be the case. Sieve Efficiency 1. Why can't you work? I thought that would work. Anyway, never mind. I'll put it in here. I'll do a bit more research and figure out how we actually put that on there to there. Whether we can actually, whether we have to put it onto this or not is something else. I would like it on the autosieve. What else was I going to say? Was there anything else to do this episode? We are into thermal expansion, but before you get there, go down all the way down to the bottom here, Endgame. That's what we've already done. And if you go here, when you have that double layer capacitor, you get an octadic capacitor from one of the other quests, from this combusting quest. If you do it, you get one here. That in turn gives you a second one, and that lets you upgrade your machines, and then opens the way to capacitor banks. So if you want to create those, you create one basic capacitor bank, it gives you a vibrant one, and that's kind of a handy thing. It'll let you store a lot of power, so that is a very handy thing to have. Spawning Enderman up here. This is the vat down here I was talking about for the combustion generator. Another handy thing it takes you towards is infinite water down here. And you don't think you need the quest to actually do this, but it requires a couple of other alloys that we haven't made yet. But it is pretty much the Endervar. So the Endervar is not exactly the cheapest recipe. You need to basically make 2 fused quartz, a cauldron, and then some hardened glass of some kind. And there's usually multiple different kinds. So we've got pyrotheum there. Let's just see. Can we just use fused quartz for all of it, I wonder? Let's let it cycle through. Yeah, we can just use fused quartz for all of it. So it is just automating that soul sand, which means getting more sand. So I'm going to need to generate, use one of these cobblestone generators, and then, or even go into thermal expansion, because in thermal expansion, there is a way to get sand directly. If we go in here to the, I think it's not the centrifugal separator, it's almost like the clastic deposition. There it is. So it needs an igneous extruder and the clastic deposition augment. I need some lead, some nickel, some erothium. And I don't have blitz powder. And I don't know how I'm going to get blitz powder. So that might be a problem. Yeah, so the usual way around it is just to get a pulverizer of some kind, like a sag mill, and just have that automatically start crunching stuff away. For example, if we just put this in here, it should start producing gravel, etc. And you can run a self-feed thing to go back through. In this case, we can just grab some more gravel, and this will happily make sand and other components too. All right, so that's it for this episode. I think we got a fair bit done. We're most of the way through the Ender IO quests, and that's straightforward. We've automated Grains of Infinity. We're into the second room now. We've got 2 more rooms to go. That just means getting to the end of the quest in each one. So in Thermal Expansion, we probably have to expand this to figure out where it goes, but there will be an endgame quest in here as well. And then getting actually additions opened with the Atomic Deconstructor. And Batania, of course, with Lexa Catania. Oh, we've got some other quests here. So Hardened upgrade kits, that's useful. And Skystone, which we got from that room. So that means, because we've gone through the side rooms, we've gone through the secret, we get an extra level. And that lets us get into A2 if we want to. So singularities. Okay. I'm not sure why we'd need quantum entangled singularities. They're used for jumping between dimensions, and I haven't seen anything like that yet. Cross bridge vast distances, or basically go across multiple dimensions. Yeah, this is Inscriber. This is normal flux crystals. Regular sort of AE2 stuff over there, so that's perhaps quite useful. And then Vibrant Alloy block, and I'm not sure why we'd actually go for that, unless there's something else down here that we can't see. Otherwise, fine. Yeah, so I think we're done for today, and we'll see how we get expanding into in the next quest, in the next, episode. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next episode for some more Breakout. Hope you've enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up if you have. I'll clean all of this up off camera for the old Obsidian setup, and we'll need to have another Obsidian setup, but we can do it downstairs, and then we can speak the crucibles if necessary to keep everything going, because this thing looks like it's not able to keep up, because yeah, these aren't full, and this is not full either. So we'll see how quickly it depletes. I can always basically swap this capacitor out, and it will actually change back, but what I don't know is if there is a limiting mechanic here, so that if this is full, it doesn't consume at the same rate. It'd be very nice if that was the case. If it isn't, then, well, we might want to put a different capacitor in, or stop this stuff coming in until this capacitor's actually used up, because that's quite a lot of power at this stage of the game. All right, see you next time. As always, thanks a lot.